Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're going to be looking at the Halo 3 Grunts. The two in the middle, the orange and the green, are just the standard Halo 3 series Grunts. The red one is the Metal Edition Series 3 Grunt, or Halo 3 Grunt, sorry. And then this one is the Anniversary Spec Ops Grunt. This one comes with the plasma rifle, plasma pistol, the double kill medal, and a plasma grenade. Pretty decent. The Spec Ops one comes with the fuel rod gun and a plasma grenade. And the two regular released ones came with the needler and the plasma pistol. They all have removable face masks and removable methane tanks in the back. They all have trouble holding their weapons except for the plasma rifle and the fuel rod gun. They hold those the best. You can fit the needler in there and you can kind of snap the plasma pistol on there, but it's not the best. And as far as the plasma grenades go, holding it on their finger, just sticking it on over the finger is the best option. So that covers all the different versions. We're going to look at the first one, the orange one, for the sake of the review. So we'll set all these other ones aside. They're all the same mold again. He stands to the top of his head just shy of 4 inches, to the top of his methane tank about 4¼ inches. So he is definitely quite small. But to me, these are still the iconic Grunt and my favorite iteration of the Grunts. I absolutely love these figures. I love the characters. The accessories are particularly nice. They're all done very well, but just for the sake of the review, we'll look at the standard release. He's got the plasma pistol, really nicely painted. Good sculpt. It does have a weapons peg hole in there. Really cool accessory. And same thing for the needler. They did a really good job with this. I like the way they made the needles all individual. Sculpt is good, paint is good. Can't really ask for too much more. It does have a weapons peg hole where his thumb is also. As you can see, it's tricky for him to hold, but if you put the finger on the outside and the two fingers inside the trigger area, he can hold it. As I said, their breather masks come off. Just has a little peg that goes into the mouth there. That's done pretty nicely. It's sculpted well, painted well. The face is done incredibly well. If you look, the way they made the peg hole into the throat, you can't even tell that it's really a peg hole. The sculpt and paint on the face is just phenomenal. The teeth, the gums, the eyes, everything is just done really, really, really well. It's a great figure. Put that back on there. They snap on fairly nicely. And then, like I said, the tanks do come off. It's pretty bland on the inside, but they do. So if you wanted to do a display where the tank was blown off like in the game, you can do that. As you can see, it's a nice metallic paint with some texturing and some detailing to make it look worn. The little lights are on there, so they did a pretty good job, and it just pegs right in like that. And it stays in fairly nicely. As far as articulation goes, the head is on, or the neck is on a swivel. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it's a ball joint. Mine was just stuck, so it's a ball joint for the neck, so it's a good range of motion. I believe the head is on a swivel. It may not move, I can't remember, to be completely honest. And it seems to be stuck, but it looks like it might swivel independently, but it doesn't really matter because the neck gives you all the articulation you're going to need. It's really nicely done. The shoulders are on a little tiny ball hinge, so good range of motion actually. And they're not too brittle. They did a pretty good job with these. There is a swivel right above this band right here, so the arm has a swivel as well and a hinge at the elbow. Way better articulation than the Reach version of these guys. And unfortunately, that's it for the articulation though. Since it's so spindly in the arm, it would have been nice to get a little bit of a better range of motion out of that, but it's still pretty good, and the sculpt is really good. And the skin has a nice blue dry brush shading over top of it. The torso is on a ball disc. I'm sorry, a ball peg, so it gives you a little bit of extra range of motion and forward and backward. And it doesn't rotate too much due to the sculpt, unfortunately. So you're really just going to get mostly the forward and back. The hips are just like the shoulders, they're little ball hinges. So full range of motion out of those, really no complaints there. There's a thigh swivel built in, a single joint in the knee. You can rotate the leg around that joint as well, so you can really get them in some decent poses. And the foot, I believe, is on a ball joint, an old school ball joint, so you have the option to angle it from side to side and then front and back and swivel it. So for being a nice little figure, he's got a pretty good range of motion in all of his joints, pretty good set of articulation. just a really cool figure, I think, and I definitely recommend it. I know the orange and the green one were going for a little bit of money for a while. I'm not sure if they still are at all, but to me, they're my favorites. Of course, the Spec Ops one is particularly nice since he comes with a fuel rod gun, which he does hold pretty nicely. Otherwise, they're all about the same minus the color of the armor. You get a little bit of different shading throughout the skin, but you know, they're mostly going to be the exact same figure minus the armor color and the accessories. So there it is. There are all the 4 different grunts from the Halo 3 line. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, more custom figures, and other good stuff. In the meantime, keep collecting.